Hey guys, Ashley here with another reaction video, and pretty much I was thinking that I've had this specific video on my mind for quite a little while, and I was wondering, should I do this, should I not do this, and I'm like, fuck it, I've actually reacted to some very old videos, so who knows, I mean, this one could actually be a little interesting. And if you're probably wondering, no, I haven't watched this actual video. I only watched it because of, well, a certain someone known as Wars. I'm sure you may know him. Pretty much, he's the one who did the Klonoa's Dream Bullet series, and yeah, I'll pretty much put a link in the description because he actually did commentary on this video, and I suggest you guys check it out when you get the chance. So without further ado, let's begin.
Hey guys, it's the Mellowblade 5. So, there's been a recurring trend on this channel that every January I make a countdown that's Pokemon related.
Pretty much.
So we cover my favorite Pokemon, and my favorite legendaries. So how about we go to the opposite end of the spectrum?
I didn't think he was a fan of Alola Envy.
Pokemon. While there are many Pokemon I love, there are also a decent number of Pokemon that I dislike, and once again, this was a countdown.
This guy's gonna use, in my opinion, a lot in this video, so keep tabs of this guy.
So of course, this list will be going over the Pokemon that I would more than likely not include on a team unless I was forced to, for various reasons. Now, admittedly, for a lot of Pokemon on this list, the main reason why I don't like them is their designs, because when I look at a Pokemon, the first thing I see is the design, which automatically plants the opinion of them in my head. However, I will be bringing up
designs aren't always the
Pokemon, such as
always
stats,
the thing,
and so on. Plus, for this list,
it really depends on how they perform in battle. That's mainly how it's supposed to be.
With Pokemon that can evolve, they had the potential to get better, in my opinion. For example, I hate Quilladin, but I really like Chesnaught, so it's not on the list.
He goes on and on about this,
and
guys.
Before we get started, let me just say this: if you like any of the Pokemon on this list, that's fine. This is just my own personal opinion on why I don't like this Pokemon.
So he at least puts that at the beginning, but
problem
is, he repeats the, in my opinion, quote,
somebody's top 10 favorite Pokemon.
Several more times than is needed.
To bring out the super effective moves against my top 10 most hated Pokemon. Delphox. Gen 6.
Later on, he says that he actually liked the design,
Pokemon of any generation, in my opinion. However,
I've used Delphox before, and it did its job pretty well.
I found out what the funnel evolutions of the starters were, and I looked them up as the funnel evolutions play the biggest factor in deciding what starter I should pick.
The starters of Cowls are supposed to be based on RPGs, such as Greninja's the Thief,
but I did not like
Chesnaught the Warrior, and Delphox is the Mage.
Is cute, and that breaks in is alright.
Rule 34 bait, that's literally what Fennekin and Brixton's supposed to be.
The reason why I don't like Delphox is because of its design. It just looks really awkward in my opinion. Not because it's standing on two legs, but because its body just looks weird to me.
I made Roy Mustang a Delphox since, well, none of the other Pokemon are actually doing, you know, that.
I think they look good because they merged aspects of the animals they're based on and the human body. Plus, the body shapes that are given match their respective animals, in my opinion.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Delphox looks like they just
chicken that look like that. That gotta work.
Merge the feminine figure and fox aspects together in a way that looks cool. Furthermore, I feel like Delphox had some wasted potential when it came to its design. Delphox is based on a witch, but the only thing witch related to it is the stick it uses as a wand. I think that there were a number of ways
Realm Wars and other people actually did a little more better explaining things
into something similar to the shape of Miss Maggie's
hat.
I
won't pretty much
turning its stick into a broomstick for it to ride on. There is a lot of fan art on the internet for potential final evolutions for Fennekin back when X and Y were first announced, which, in my opinion, looked better than Delphox.
Counter.
Of course, I wasn't counting on the final evolution looking like this fan art, but still, Delphox felt like a disappointment for me. However, the reason why Delphox is only number 10 on the list is because, in the grand scheme of things, the design is really the only thing I dislike. It has pretty good stats.
The design pretty much grew on him. Keep that in mind.
Along with letting a lot of good moves leveling up that complement its stats and type. Plus, its signature move at the time of X and Y's release, Mystical Fire, is a great move as it possesses decent power and always lowers the opponent's special attack. And actually, over time, the design started to grow on me a little bit.
Oh, so he does mention it, okay.
Seen it, but I still personally think that it looks awkward and that Game Freak could have come up with something better, in my honest opinion.
Okay.
Unown.
Bringing up some
This
oldies,
is actually a case
guys,
in which the design doesn't
and
have anything to
obvious.
do with why I dislike this Pokemon, although it's not something that I find very
So,
interesting.
why the
main
design,
reason
and why is it
Unown
even on the
this
list?
is that it just screams wasted potential for me. Unown is pathetically weak with a base stat total of
Isn't it obvious?
336, and its highest stats
It's
only
supposed to
being
introduce
72.
the mechanic of hidden
Furthermore,
power,
Unown
and
can
of
only
course,
learn
the
one
RPG
move
style.
throughout the entire series being hidden power.
Pokemon
which
is an
barely going to do
RPG,
any damage due to
and wouldn't
its
it make
shit
sense
stats.
that world building would be
Any
a
other
thing?
Psychic-type Pokemon is better than this thing. But what really annoys me about Unown, and why I think it's such wasted potential, is because in both the Pokedex, the anime, and the movies, it is said/shown that Unown are incredibly powerful when together, as they can literally bend reality. But does that happen in the game? Nope. It is so misleading. And I have heard of a number of people on the internet who thought that Unown was going to be an incredibly powerful Pokemon because of the third movie, only to be severely disappointed.
Well, it is the anime,
I don't
it goes by its
understand
own
why Game
rules.
Freak hasn't done anything interesting with Unown, because seeing as how Black and White 2 introduced fusions for Kyurem, they could have multiple Unowns
If we
fused
actually
together
had
to become something
you
stronger.
know,
And this would make a lot of sense, seeing as how it's based on the alphabet. Also, Unown has been heavily implied to be
Kyurem
connected
should
to
have had,
Arceus,
you
which has
know,
been
a
reinstated
fusion of
in
all
many
three,
fan
so
theories,
therefore we
when
could
it
have
comes
seen
to
its
plot,
true
Unown plays
form.
no
Its
part.
original true form.
The only time this Pokemon was relevant was for a side quest in Gen 4 where you had to catch every single form, which was easily the most tedious and unrewarding side quest in the entire series.
The only thing you get are the question mark
to put
unknown
cherry on
and
top as to
the
why I hate
explanation
Unown,
point
according to
unknown.
Game Freak, I've been mispronouncing this Pokemon's name. Apparently, the official pronunciation of its name is Unown. Fuck that.
That's what
Nobody has
literally
ever legitimately
breaks
pronounced
the
this
camel's
thing's
back.
name like that. And even the anime pronounced it as Unknown. It is easily one of my least favorite pronunciations in video game history. And there are a lot of official pronunciations of video games I don't like. Alomomola. Like with Unown, Alomomola just screams wasted potential to me, and is one of the most forgettable Gen 5 Pokemon in my opinion. Now, of course, like everybody thought when Alomomola was first revealed, I thought there was going to be an evolution of Love Disc, a crap
Generation
Pokemon
5
that
literally
definitely
was
deserved an
supposed to
evolution.
be,
However,
well,
despite the
a
fact that the two of
separate
them look so similar,
generation.
they are completely separate species of Pokemon.
Well,
I have
aren't these
no
supposed to be
clue what
based
was
on
going
different
through
types
Game
of
Freak's
fish?
heads when they decided to make this a separate Pokemon. What's worse is that, you know how I said earlier that Love Disc is a crap
and trust
Pokemon?
me,
Well,
the
Alomomola
fifth-
isn't much better either. It has a really
fifth
high
generation
HP
has the
stats, although
highest
I couldn't tell before looking up
number
on
of
Wikipedia,
Pokemon
since I
in
swear to God, I've
generations.
taken
No
this thing
joke.
down in like 1 or 2 hits every time I have faced it. But the rest of its stats
Well,
are
this thing's
very
supposed to be a
mediocre.
support Pokemon, right?
When looking at Alomomola's move pool,
Oh yeah,
I'm
the
guessing
move
that
things.
it's supposed to be more of a support Pokemon since it has a lot of status moves. However,
he mentions
a lot
the
of these moves
TMs, but
don't really
only
benefit,
once,
and some
and
can
that's
only
at
be
the
used in
very end of the
double
video.
battles.
Well,
Plus,
second to
despite having a
last
higher
part.
physical attack stat, Alomomola's better, stronger moves that it learns through leveling up are special attacks, which aren't going to do that much damage due to its 40 base special attack. Now, since I've also said that Love Disc is a bad Pokemon in this century, you're probably wondering why I have Alomomola over it. Well, it's because of Alomomola, I felt that Game Freak could have used the opportunity to make Love Disc better if they made Alomomola an evolution. Plus, there's something about Love Disc's design that I find appealing, while Alomomola just looks ugly to me. Lastly, not only is Alomomola a water type, which is the most common type in the series, but it was also introduced in Gen 5, which gave us more Pokemon than any
IGN,
other
too much
generation.
water, there you go.
So as such, it barely stands out compared to the other Gen 5 water types, which is why I find it to be so forgettable.
Well,
I don't
isn't
even recall that
95%
many
of the
locations
world
or
covered
trainers
with
who had
water?
this Pokemon on their team.
It would make sense.
No wonder it was the first Gen 5 Pokemon to appear in the anime, so they could try and make it more memorable. Alolan Persian.
Okay.
Alolan Persian
I'll
is
have
just
to
straight
admit,
up
Alolan Persian,
ugly,
I thought...
and it really annoys me. When Alolan
Okay.
Meowth was first revealed, I was really interested
But when
to
I
see what
used
Alolan
it,
Persian
its
would
design
look
grew
like.
on me,
And I had
and
this
boy
really
was it
cool idea in
useful
my
in
head,
battle.
but upon finding out what it looked like from the Sun and Moon demo data mine,
Also,
I was
for a
severely
Pokemon
disappointed.
team,
Alolan Persian
I
is
used-
really fat for some
I
reason.
actually made Reala
And as
actually
many
have this
people have pointed
Pokemon.
out, it looks like Normal from Garfield. We already had Alolan Raticate as a fat, dark-type Alolan form, so why
Also,
do we need another?
How does
Plus,
it look fat?
Eradicate, it being
If you
fat
wanna
makes
see fat
sense because
cats,
of the
then look at
lore
her
around
ugly.
it.
That's
But with
a
the
fat
transition
cat.
from Alolan Meowth to Alolan Persian, it doesn't make any sense. Now, I know that Alolan Persian is based on British Shorthairs, which have round heads due to inbreeding, but I think Persian's round head is way too big and exaggerated. It looks like its head
Well, it's a different
should be
it's a
weighing
weird
it
design
down.
choice.
There were a few times over the months leading to Pokemon Sun and Moon where I might not have cared for Pokemon's design based on artwork before it looked much better in gameplay. However, with Alolan Persian, it looks just as bad in gameplay as it did in the data mine, in my opinion. It looks so derpy. As for its use in battle,
that's not derpy.
I have no idea what the fuck process behind this was. Alolan Persian's normal abilities are Fur Coat and Technician, which are both really good abilities. However, we get to its stats and move pool and things go downhill for me. Alolan Persian's stats are the same as regular Persians, however it has higher special attack than physical attack. But despite that, it only learns 3 special attacks leveling up, and all of them, except for Swift, are over 60 power, meaning that they aren't going to be boosted by Technician.
Again, pretty much
of course,
go
the
to
main reason why I hate Alolan Persian, other than its design,
it can learn a lot,
is the fact that I found it to be so disappointing.
Lot.
My idea for Alolan Persian, back when Alolan Meowth was revealed, was that it would be some kind of sassy, panther-looking Pokemon due to the darker fur and the personality of Alolan Meowth. In fact, I thought that they could have given it the personality of Giovanni's Persian in the anime, where it's very spoiled,
there was an episode where we did see a rich
lore being pampered by royalty.
woman with an Alolan Persian.
We got a fat cat.
And the fact that this cat basically was pretty much very pampered and very much...
What's the explanation for it looking like that? Every other Alolan form except for Raichu has given a reason for why they have changed, but not joking. Persian. All it says on the Pokemon website is that... Wait a minute. It is held to be a Pokemon of great beauty?
If talking about its
fur, fuck?
Okay.
Bruxish. Continuing on with ugly Generation 7 Pokemon.
Oh,
I mean,
darling,
just look at it. It has
so
some of the ugliest combination of colors, in my opinion. Eyelashes that make it look like a drag queen. And of course, those large lips and teeth. Bruxish is based on the reef triggerfish, which is the state fish of Hawaii, or as it's also known as... I'm not even going to try to pronounce that, but it's also inspired by Bruxism, which is an excessive teeth grinding or jaw clenching. Why would you base a Pokemon off of that? That just sounds gross, and the pictures of it, which I'm not going to show to save your dinner, are
I've actually seen some of them, and they're not exactly that bad. Okay, I gotta stop a little bit. Looks like an Italian restaurant. Honestly, I've seen another video, and they actually explained that it looks a bit more similar to a watermelon, actually, because, you know, isn't pretty much Alola owned to a lot of fruit? Because what does Italy have to do with Alola anyways? They're completely different regions.
I spoke too soon. Similarly to Alomomola, Bruxish is a Pokemon that I find so forgettable, which you think wouldn't be possible in a generation similar to the size of Gen 6, but Bruxish defies all odds. Not only did Bruxish easily get overshadowed by other Gen 7 Pokemon in the trailers, but it hardly ever appeared in the ones after its reveal. Furthermore, from my own experience playing Moon, I've only encountered one trainer in the entire game with a Bruxish, and I fight every single trainer in order to get the most experience. Plus, Bruxish only appears in 4 areas of the game where the chance of finding one via surfing is 1%, and only in one of these areas are you required to surf in the first place.
It wasn't that bad of using.
Stats, it has good physical attack and decent speed, but its other stats are lackluster. But for some reason, it doesn't learn that many moves leveling up when compared to a lot of other Pokemon. While all of the moves that Bruxish learns through level up are decent, except for Synchro Noise, it easily gets outclassed by a lot of other Gen 7 water types, such as Gliscopod, which does the physical attacking job so much better. Even non-physical attacking water types,
it wasn't supposed to be made for that role,
do their respective jobs so much better than Bruxish's role as a physical attacker. There are so many more water types out there that could be more beneficial to a team in the long run than Bruxish. Well, you just
jealous because I'm fabulous.
Which I guess is another reason why I sometimes forget that this thing even exists. I don't even understand where the idea of basing this Pokemon on Bruxish came from during development. One it being closer to the...
That's all, folks.
No. Yeah, these jokes are...
Hypno.
You guys
Hypno is a psychic type that I never see used by Pokemon players when compared to other psychic types like Alakazam.
Creepy Pokemon.
And I definitely understand why. Hypno's usefulness in battle is very limited, as it possesses high special
Hypno.
defense, but has low special attack, which is the biggest detriment to this Pokemon. Most Psychic types excel in special attack, so the fact that Hypno's is so low, and that it primarily learns special attack as its offensive moves, gives you a big handicap. Hypno does prioritize in putting the opponent to sleep, as you would guess because of its concept, but Pokemon like Snorlax do a much better job at this in my opinion, since they possess enough bulk in order to effectively put the opponent to sleep.
Calm Mind or Nasty Plot, anyone? And Dream Eater?
The reason why I don't like a Pokemon on this list doesn't have to do with its design, but I'm still not a fan of Hypno's appearance at all. The reason why a lot of Gen 1 Pokemon don't rank as highly as later Gen Pokemon for me is that I find a lot of the designs to be very basic by comparison.
Well, that's how Pokemon started
them,
out.
But I think Hypno takes the basic design a bit too far, as its only standout features are the fur around its neck and the pendulum it carries. The rest of his design is just a featureless yellow body with nothing interesting placed there. Drowsy at least had a lot of more of the tapir theme going on with its snout and body shape. But despite Hypno also being based on that concept, it really doesn't do much with it in my opinion. But the main reason why I dislike Hypno is that this thing is so creepy. We're about to get into more mature territory here, but from reading the lore behind Hypno in the Pokedex and a few in-game events, you will find out that Hypno is a pedophile. Hypno's Fire Red Pokedex entry, which was used in X, states it carries a pendulum-like device.
That just for survival,
there was once
and
an
the fact that
incident
it's
in which
feeding
it took
off
away
of
a
people's
child
dreams.
hypnotized. And even in Fire Red, there's this one part
It never
in the
said
game
anything about
where a young
it
girl
being a
gets attacked
pedophile.
by a Hypno. As such, this has spawned a few creepypastas in relation to Hypno kidnapping children. And that's not all. In some of Hypno's other Pokedex entries, it states that it forces people to fall asleep and then feasts on their dreams.
Duh, it's doing that for a survival
Hypno legitimately creeps me out because of this, and the fact that its design reminds me of an old man doesn't help. I just want to get the hell away from this thing as fast as possible.
He'll see you later at night.
When I think of Gen 6 Pokemon that I don't like, this is the first one that comes to mind.
Not kidding, this thing
Once
is
again,
actually
the
based
reason
off
I
of Plague
dislike
Doctor
Aromatisse is
and
because of its
perfumes.
design, since upon seeing it for the first time, I thought that it was an abomination of mankind.
I never
had
used an
absolutely
Aromatisse
no idea
before
what it was
because,
supposed to be,
I
and its
couldn't really do
in-game
any
model
trades
actually
with
looked a
anyone.
little creepy to me due to the fur/feather things covering its body and the way in which they were shaped. Like its pre-evolution Spritzy, Aromatisse is based on a flamingo, but it is also based on a flamenco dancer and a perfume bottle, which I could not tell at all from looking at it. Upon seeing Spritzy, I thought it could potentially evolve into some sort of majestic-looking flamingo.
I guess.
So, like with a Alolan Persian, I was disappointed upon seeing what its evolution looked like. Also, Spritzy and Aromatisse take some influence from Plague Doctors. But
Isn't that supposed to be the point behind Aromatisse?
Aside from being a bird, which is in reference to Plague Doctor masks, Aromatisse has absolutely nothing to do with Plague Doctors.
I see the Plague Doctor and doesn't know you.
We could have had a Poison and Fairy type Flamingo Pokemon wearing a Plague Doctor mask, but instead with dancing perfume. In my If the UK was a Pokemon region video, I suggested a rat Pokemon with a Plague Doctor mask as a reference to the Black Plague, and part of my reasoning behind that was because I felt like Aromatisse did nothing with the Plague Doctor concept. For its use in battle, Aromatisse's stats are kind of all over the place.
It can
There's
no
high
Trick
HP,
Room.
they
There's
include
that.
special attack and special defense, but mediocre physical attack and defense, and then really low speed. This distribution of stats is just so confusing to me because Aromatisse only learns one physical move leveling up, which makes me wonder why they didn't just lower its attack and transfer that to its special attack or special defense. But also because it learns so many status moves, despite the fact that it isn't really that bulky to take full advantage of these moves.
Supposed to be a support
Slurpuff, the
Pokemon.
ex-equivalent of Aromatisse, has
And
much
he's-
more balanced
and pretty
stats,
much
and the
use it
moves
for
it learns
double
are a lot
balance.
more beneficial to War.
I know he says he's not a competitive player, but
So it just makes me
just
wonder
saying.
why didn't they do something similar with Aromatisse, or at least just make it a high special attacker or bulky Pokemon. The Elemental Monkeys, Simisage, Simisear, and Simipour. This is a three-way tie, but that's because these Pokemon pretty much go hand in hand,
I
and they
didn't
all
really
suffer
use
from
them
similar
much.
problems for me. Once again,
Like,
I don't like
barely.
the designs of these Pokemon, except for maybe Simisage because of the hair. Because they just look really lame in my opinion. Some of the features on their bodies, mainly their faces,
As if
don't
the
look
Game
right.
Freak's
And in
saying,
the case
like,
of Simisear
we have
and
enough fish,
Simipour,
why not add more
their hair and
monkeys?
faces
Can't go
look
enough
really
without
dumb.
monkeys.
These three Pokemon are based on the three wise monkeys: See No Evil, Hear No Evil, and Speak No Evil. but the designs have absolutely nothing to do with this concept aside from Simipour having his eyes shut. Their pre-evolutions, Pansage, Pansear, and Panpour, at least had a little bit of the Wise Monkey's influence reflected in the designs.
Wouldn't it make sense for Pansage and
Gen 5 sprite.
Sear
Simisear
to pretty
has his
much
hand
be
next to its
based
ear,
off
and
the
Panpour also has his eyes shut.
They pretty much
It
have
seems
reverse.
like the idea was completely dropped when it came to the evolutions.
Or
couldn't they at least have had Simisage and Simisear covering its mouth and ears?
Sorry, guys.
As for Simipour specifically, I have a bit of a grudge against this thing, as I used the Panpour on my team in white, since I chose Snivy as my starter and I thought it looked cool. But I didn't know how to evolve it, or even if it would evolve at all, but when I found out what the evolution looked like, I instantly disliked it, but I evolved it anyway.
There are many other
so
water
I would
types
get better stats
in,
since it was already on my team
in
for like the entire
Uniboss,
game
so
at that point.
it's perfectly
So I was
fine.
pretty much stuck
It's not like
with
you're
a Pokemon
forced.
that I dislike. Although, in hindsight, I don't know why I evolved Panpour to get
Could have
better
used, like,
stats,
I don't know,
when all elemental
Carcosa,
monkey stats are
maybe even-
mediocre. Each of them have the exact same stats,
Ugh.
and the only one that's over 100 is their speed, which is only 101. Like with Bruxish, there are so many other Pokemon in the same generation and types as these guys that do whatever the hell their roles were supposed to be so much better. I thought the idea of having a set of Pokemon similar to that of a starter trio would be cool, but the execution was severely lacking. Also, just to show how highly disregarded these Pokemon are, in the run-up to Volcanion and the Mechanical Marvel,
I've
Japanese
seen that
audiences were
movie.
able to
It's
vote
actually
on
pretty
which
good.
Pokemon
Makes up
out
for
of
the,
then
Hoopa movie.
720 would be distributed alongside the movie. And Simisear scored dead last!
That was from Rabbit Luigi's, list.
Bewear! This is where we get
Hey,
to Pokemon that
Bewear
I
the
hate
giant
with a passion.
titty!
I said this in another video, I can't remember which, but I personally think that Bewear is the worst designed Pokemon ever.
It's supposed to
really
be
don't
like a
it when people say
mascot,
this doesn't
right?
look like a Pokemon,
Because you know,
since there isn't
Japan
really a
basically
single
has
definition
them.
for what a Pokemon looks like. I personally think that saying
Bewear
this
is
doesn't
definitely
match
hug,
the
guys.
style of Pokemon would be more appropriate, but with Bewear, I have to use that phrase. It doesn't look like a Pokemon. It looks like a Pokemon knockoff that somehow ended up in the game. Bewear is a case in which I think that it is under-designed, as to me, it feels like this Pokemon wasn't
then that
finished
makes
before
Envy
being
pretty
added
much
to Sun
Flowey.
and Moon. There are some people who don't like Pokemon with complex designs, which
You know,
I've
he could pretty much
never
fit in there.
understood,
Why?
since I prefer
Because,
Pokemon with
I don't know,
complex designs, as it makes them
Monster?
look more interesting. But if Bewear was made to appeal to those people, then I think they went way too far to make it look basic. Even the Ultra Beasts look more like Pokemon than Bewear, and they're supposed to look out of place. I know that it's partially based on a teddy bear, but we also had Teddy Ursa, who definitely fitted more in the Pokemon universe than Bewear does in my opinion. As for its pre-evolution Stuffle, I don't mind the designs, it looks more Pokemon-like, while its evolved form is severely lacking in features and detail. I mean,
it
its
pretty
body
much
is
killed its
entirely
trainer
black,
with its
and
hug!
then it just cuts to its pink head,
By
no
splitting their
transition.
spines in half
It's
by
just a
its
solid
hug!
line, and its paws are also entirely black, which is the generic paw print symbol placed on them. Couldn't they have at least given it something like
I've
a
used the
circle on
Bewear
its
before,
stomach to
and
represent
it
a
is not to
belly?
be taken
Along with having
lightly.
an underwhelming design, in my opinion, I think Bewear doesn't have a soul. It literally does not show any sort of emotion. Without spoiling anything, there was this one point in the game in which I had to fight a bunch of powered Pokemon, which all
Boy.
had angry eyes. Bewear was
Oh,
one of these
that
Pokemon,
fight, I
but its
remember.
eyes
It
just
was actually
stayed
a
in that
bit...
blank stare as
Ooh.
usual. It didn't show any signs of anger. Getting to its usefulness
Honestly,
in
the
battle,
Bewear was
is a
actually pretty
normal
tough to
fighting
take
type,
out as
which,
well.
in my opinion, is a very interesting type combination. Although this is coming from someone who isn't really that big of a fan of normal types. But its HP
I've
and
used a
attack
couple of
stats
normal
are
types before, and
absurdly
they
high,
actually
while the
did
rest of
pretty
the
well.
stats are just to me. Bewear can have the ability Fluffy, which doubles its defense against contact moves, but that makes it weak to fire. I guess it's up to you whether or not you think this ability is good or bad. However, it can also have Klutz, which is a useless ability in my
Unless
opinion.
it's like, I don't
Apparently
know,
there is some strategy you can
multiplayer.
use with Klutz, but I remember it being so specific. As for its moves, Bewear's move pool is just so
It can learn
limited.
Earthquake!
Its only offensive moves leveling up are normal
Through
fighting and
TMs.
dark-type moves. So you're probably going to have to rely on TMs to give this thing decent type coverage.
Oh,
If it
now
wasn't for
he
those
brings them
dark-type
up.
moves, this
Yeah,
thing
it was
wouldn't be
this
able to do
point.
anything
Okay.
against ghost types. But
Shadow
still,
Claw?
it's just Bewear's design.
Anyone?
I can't get over it because it looks so underdeveloped in my opinion. And I think some people are probably going to say I'm just nitpicking, but I find the design to be so
Yeah, you
distracting
pretty
that I
much
can't
are.
help but focus on it. Also, its cry in the anime is ear bleeding.
What is it? I never heard that in the anime or English dub, guys. I never really heard that.
Oh god.
So that's what the dub is.
Not this Pokemon. Just even thinking about
pretty
this
much too close for
Pokemon
home for you, man.
pisses me off on so many levels.
Oh boy, I know exactly
now
what's
there are
coming.
a lot of people that like this Pokemon.
This
and
is what Reala's
like
Pokemon
I said in the
is,
intro,
guys.
more power to you, despite all the incredibly negative things I'm going to say about this Pokemon.
Here it comes. Here it
Similarly
comes.
to a lot of the previous entries on this
Come
list,
on.
a large part of why I decided this
Come
Pokemon
on.
is because of its design. But that isn't the only reason. If we were just going off of designs,
should
then
call this,
Bewear will be number one. But
I
the
don't
main
like these
reason why I
Pokemon because of their
despise
designs.
Pokemon is because this is,
Hang on a
without
sec,
doubt,
guys.
the most disappointing Pokemon in
Here
the
it
entire
comes.
series for me. Incineroar. God, I hate this
Okay.
thing so much.
This
I
song.
referenced how much I hate this
It's
thing in my
manipulative,
Yu-Gi-Oh!
guys.
vs. Pokemon
Don't
response
believe
video.
it.
And a lot of people were puzzled as to why I dislike it. So now it's time for me to
I
explain.
love Incineroar.
Now I've seen
I
a
love
lot of
me
people
my
say
fire,
that the
flaming,
only
wrestling
reason why
tiger
people disliked
Pokemon.
Incineroar was
It's
because
red
they
and
thought it was going to be a
black,
fire
man.
fighting type.
And
I
I always wanted to
absolutely
see a
hate it
tiger
when people
Pokemon.
say that because
And this is what
when
I
it
basically
first
lack.
appeared in leaks for Sun and Moon, I didn't even think about its typing and I hated it. While
What, would you
Incineroar
rather
is not
have
a fire
it be a
fighting
fire
type,
fighting?
but rather a fire dark type,
The
the
obvious.
concept of fire starters becoming fighters is still overdone, which is just one reason why I hate this thing. One of the biggest reasons why I
Well,
dislike
it's supposed to be a
Incineroar
heel,
is
right?
its design.
As in the villain
It's based
of
on
a
a
wrestling
heel,
match?
which is a type of wrestler who plays the villain in stage performances.
Oh, he does mention it.
But its body proportions look so weird and awkward
It's
to
Tony
me.
the Tiger's
The
evil
other fire
cousin.
starters who become fighters are given body
who am
shapes
I
that match
kidding?
what animals they're based on, in my opinion. While Incineroar is a cat who's been given an extremely ripped body, and it just doesn't work for me since I think it looks
You know,
really
I think
dumb.
Incineroar
You know
will
what
be
this thing
watching
looks
you
like
right
to
now.
me?
Metal
It
Blade.
looks like Knuckles in Sonic Boom.
No,
with
it
how it has
doesn't.
incredibly skinny legs,
No, it has
but
thick
suddenly
legs.
a massive upper body and arms. And then with hands that look way too big to be taken seriously. That's
Tiger
like how
claws
I drew
are supposed to
hands
be
when
pretty
I was
big.
5 years old. Now, I've also seen some people say that since the other fire starters are bipedal, it makes sense for Incineroar to follow the same route. However, not only is Typhlosion both bipedal and quadrupedal, which
If it
ruins
be
this
on
whole
4
argument,
legs, the
but
design really
just
wouldn't
because
change.
they did this before doesn't mean they have to do it for the 7th freaking time.
It's always been
In
a
fact,
thing.
It would have been more interesting to do something different. While I would have preferred for the Litten line to remain on 4 legs, if they had to go with the cat wrestler route, couldn't they have at least made it more feral looking? Something akin to Lycanroc Midnight form? Because another issue I have with Incineroar's design, it feels like Game Freak designed a wrestler Pokemon and then just added a few cat features at the last minute. It feels more human than
anthropomorphic.
cat. Furthermore, I feel it's designed to be very basic when compared to the other Alolan starters, because the Decidueye and Primarina have various features that relate to what they're based on, incorporated into the designs, while Incineroar only has the wrestling belt as its wrestling-related feature. Now for
There's more
Incineroar
to
in
the
battle.
design of the wrestling
I
look.
personally think that when
I mean, you
compared
get the
to
ripped
other
t-shirt,
starters,
you get the
Incineroar's
mask,
stats are
you got
mediocre,
pretty much
as
the
it has a high attack
tiger
stat.
features.
That's all it
that's
really
like,
has going
you know,
for
relate
it.
to tiger
Meanwhile, the
suits
Decidueye and
that they use in
Primarina
Japan.
have multiple
Even the
stats
mask,
that are at
basically.
least 100. You could argue that Incineroar is more balanced, but I would
This
prefer
Decidueye
Pokemon with
is,
2
actually.
really good stats, rather than just 1. Also, why the hell is Incineroar slower than Emboar? That doesn't make
You
any
hate
goddamn
casting?
sense!
Then you must
As
really
for its
hate
moves,
gluttony.
Incineroar possesses a signature move, being Darkest Lariat, which is a really good move, but after that, you're not going to come across any moves that support its stats consistently until level 55. As for abilities,
But you have it
Incineroar's
during
hidden
your
ability
entire
is
journey,
Intimidate,
so what?
which is a
that
great
problem?
ability. However, Decidueye and Primarina got their own unique hidden abilities exclusive to them.
Incineroar can
while
learn a very
Incineroar
lot of
gets one
coverage
that
moves,
plenty of
actually.
Pokemon already
Very
have.
much to help.
Also, this is a bit more nitpicky, but I personally think that the name Incineroar is just really stupid.
Again, it's always been a
Not
thing.
only because we had Pyroar in the previous generation, which just makes it uncreative, but also because it sounds like it's trying to be cool, but ends up being really lame.
Actually, Incineroar
But the
does
main
sound
reason
very intimidating.
Why I absolutely hate
I will
Incineroar, why it's the
you.
most disappointing Pokemon for me, is because of an anecdote I have regarding the lead up to Sun and Moon. when the starters were first revealed, Litten was the one I
Shut
liked
up
the
and
most.
take my money!
And when I found out that it would most
Which
likely
I
become a
kind of am
tiger
doing
when
for
it evolves,
Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon.
I got super hyped since I've always wanted to see a tiger Pokemon since it's one of those famous animals that has never been turned into a Pokemon before. However,
Well,
later
it was
on,
the proper
a
time for
supposed
it now.
leak came out, which claimed to show the starter's final evolutions, in which I liked the look of Rowlet and Popplio's final evolutions, but absolutely hated Litten's and hoped that this wasn't real. But across the next couple of months, this leak began to gain more credibility, especially when the starter's evolutions were
fun
revealed,
fact,
in which I
the
gave
reason
up hope.
why I would care about Popplio
However, there was
now
one
is because,
last
well,
glimmer
the
of
song
hope left.
Tricky did.
Lycanroc was revealed,
Boy, it's a good
in which
song.
it had two different forms depending on which version you were playing. And since it was stated that Rockruff shared a secret with the starters, which, by the way, we were never told what that secret was,
Because
so
it has
such,
something to hide.
some people
That's
started
what it was
speculating that the
meant.
final evolutions
That's
of the
what it
starters
means.
might have different forms as well, and I thought this was a plausible idea, seeing as
Also,
how much
dude, the
Sun and
song,
Moon changed the traditional formula. I mean, this is the same generation
okay.
that gave an evolutionary line to legendaries. So then we came close to the demo being released.
Everyone calls them legendaries, but he
that it
pronounced
could
them
get
as
data mined,
legendaries.
which apparently happened with the Aurus demo as well. And I actually wanted the demo to get data mined, so I could
even
see
see
for
it in
sure
the,
if the starter evolutions
description
had multiple
here.
forms. Upon the demo being released, the entire Pokédex was data mined, and I quickly went to a YouTube video covering this, in which they confirmed that the leak was real, which I had guessed, but then I waited to see if there were other forms. And nothing came. Upon discovering this, I immediately switched to Team Popplio, since Popplio was my second favorite of the
Litten
starters.
because, well,
I wanted a tiger Pokemon.
this guy is pretty much...
Instead, I got a deformed cat wrestler
Yeah,
with barely
he's
any
one of those
cat
who
features.
hates Incineroar because
The
of
fact
the
that I
design.
hate Incineroar's design,
Even though
and
clearly
it instantly
Incineroar
kills
does
the
its
hype
job
I
very
had
well.
for a Pokemon that I was previously really excited on using, instantly
It's
made it
really,
my
heck,
most
even,
hated
it even takes out
Pokemon.
fighting types. My Incineroar is awesome, and... Nope. Pretty much, it's gonna go to the John Cena joke, so yeah. Huh. I wasn't really that mad in this video. I'm surprised at myself. Maybe it's because I've actually watched Realm Wars' commentary on it, so... I guess it doesn't really seem to faze me that much. So yeah, how did you guys pretty much thought of this video? I'm sorry if I didn't really, go into full details of these things. I'm not really the best for commentary. Because, you know, the video would often kinda, you know, stall me at times. But, if you like this video, feel free to like and subscribe, and I will in fact put a link to the description of Realm Wars' video so you guys can get much better details more than from me. So, without further ado, I wish you all a good day, guys.